Well, there wasn't just a deluge of big numbers and big promises, but also a barrage of one-liners, zingers, personal attacks and bizarre barbs. As Lloyd Burr reports, the budget debate saw ministers making crude jokes, one even holding a bottle of crude oil, while the opposition littered its retorts with talk of lollies and cake.
Mr. Speaker, I commend this budget to the House.
A standing ovation and hugs for Nicola Willis was about as civil as the budget debate got. Although not all parties turned up, Te Pāti Māori missing, Willis having to just leave their copy on their desks. Her speech was like her budget, no frills.
We take seriously our roles as custodians of taxpayer money. This is not austerity. This is a government that has their back.
Although there was a heartwarming shout out to her kids,
I want to say that I know Mum's been busy lately, and I'm sorry I missed your show last night, Hatter.
not missing the show that ensued though.
This was a scramble without the lollies.
This is the let them eat cake budget. This is the BS budget because the government is taking New Zealanders for chumps.
The lights are flickering and starting to fail.
But what this government is telling us is computer says no.
Earning a no from the government in return.
You could always tell when a politician's speechwriter doesn't like her very much, and that was certainly one of those circumstances. Someone said she wrote it herself. That's not very nice.
The Associate Education Minister's speech littered with other digs at the former Finance Minister.
If that maths help was available when Grant Robertson was at school, the budget would be much, much easier, if only.
At Radio New Zealand,
the $18.4 million reduction in RNZ funding should help focus the organisation on high-quality news reporting, the way many of its competitors have been forced to do in a challenging industry.
And funding for minority groups.
Crazy research grants, so-called climate resilience for Māori, whatever that really is, bilingual towns and cities funding. It's all getting cut to save taxpayers' money.
But celebrating more taxpayer money going to subsidise private schools.
After 15 years of neglect, we are finally increasing that subsidy.
An increase handed to the fossil fuel industry too, to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars.
Kiwis, I am holding Maui #1 crude oil. With your blessings, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to take the lid off and invite the Green Party to sniff it.
The government is taking money away from whānau with a new baby at home and setting it on fire by ploughing it into new fossil fuel exploration.
There's one thing this government have shown they're very adept at mining, and that is the pits of division.
Luxon mining his insult jar.
Has there ever been a leader of the opposition with less substance than Chris Hipkins? You get a lot of wishy-washy, don't you? It's a lot of wishy-washy. These people can't run a bath. They cannot run a bath, let alone run an economy. Is the constant flip-flopping from the man that I call Mr. Bojangles.
Hipkins returning fire, accusing the government of flip-flopping on New Zealand's history of women's rights.
The country that was first to allow women the vote has nothing to be proud of today.
But one particular woman felt very proud.
Well, Lloyd Burr joins us now. Kia ora, Lloyd. So what are you calling this budget?
Yeah, well, Sam, there were lots of B words to choose from today. I did consider calling it the bitter budget because that's the taste that around 180,000 women will have because the government changed the rules of the pay equity game halfway through and ordered them to restart the game. They moved the goalposts around. So I did consider the bitter budget. I also considered the re-budget budget because a lot of people are going to have to re-budget their budgets. KiwiSaver, those changes. People, young people are going to have to re-budget their retirement budgets. Families who, or young families, people want to start a family, they're going to have to re-budget as well because they've changed the Best Start package and made it means tested. But I've landed on the bitsy budget because it is just quite bitsy. There's just lots of little bits everywhere. There's some little bits, there's some crummy bits, there's some big bits, there's some good bits, there's some bad bits, there's some bonkers bits. So I've landed on the bitsy budget, maybe the itsy bitsy budget.
Okay, Lloyd, that is fantastic. Thanks so much. We will talk to you later on. Well, later in the bulletin, we'll go through that budget 2025 hits and misses with economist Brad Olsen. And if you want more detail on how it will affect you, of course, head along to stuff.co.nz.